Hey, what's up guys? This is Alex from Team APS coming at you with a new video. I'm here to bring you 5 reasons why you should play casually, like me. You know, there's tend to be 2 types of Yu-Gi-Oh players. You've got your competitive players on one side and your casual players on the other. You know, the 2 don't like to mix. Sometimes people take a hard line in the sand on which one they want to be. I know that there was a while when I wanted to be a competitive player, but I had my limit. I couldn't make myself spend the money on making my decks as great as possible. And then I kind of got miffed when, of course, my not perfectly competitive deck still lost in big tournaments. So I had a bit of a tantrum. Paul and Alex saw me cry, and I attacked Alec. You know, things I do. And so I chose to officially just play casually. And I'm still here. I'm alive. So it works. So I'm gonna give you 5 reasons, this is 10 fingers, 5 reasons why you should be doing it too. Or not, it's up to you. So reason number 1, you're limited only by your imagination. You can just build whatever deck you want. It's pretty freeing. I mean, you know, these packs come out every month or so with probably 50 or more random cards that no one uses. And you might see that one that you think, maybe I should give this a try. And you're right to. Like, someone should be playing these cards, and if you're not playing competitively anyway, try some stuff out. You might come out with a whole new way of playing Yu-Gi-Oh that no one thought of before. I mean, I built my Raccoon God deck that way. If you guys remember from a video way back when, I came up with the concept of a Raccoon God deck because, well, God cards weren't very playable. They needed tributes to bring them out. And I found raccoons kind of filled up your field really easily. I kind of kept shopping it, taking things out, putting things in, until I came to a pretty decent build that was actually able to not only summon Egyptian gods like Obelisk, but it could also synchro summon pretty reliably, and also thanks to the raccoons had a pretty good Xyz lineup too. That was a cool deck that I did not really do much with, but that's kind of also the bane of playing casually. You don't really have many high goals for your decks, and that's a good thing. You simply build your deck, you play it with friends, no one's going to tell you, oh no, you can't play that deck, because you're all playing casually. Okay guys, reason number 2. So, you know, my main reason for playing casually was because I found the cards way too expensive. On the flip, casual play is not nearly as expensive most of the time. When you're playing a casual deck, your deck could be as cheap as like 10 bucks sometimes. These cards, like, depending on how overlooked they are, what set they're from, they could be worth cents online. You can pick up the entire core of your deck for like chump change. If you want to try out more expensive cards in your deck, you can, because you didn't waste a whole lot of money on building this crazy awesome competitive deck that takes you to Nats. You have extra money left over to buy a few more, you know, pricey things. I know I felt like I was really like doing it big when I started adding Solemn Strike to my decks. Yeah, I know you guys probably hate that, but you know, it took me a while. I didn't play competitively, so when Solemn Strike first came out, Alec and Paul took all of that, and I was just kind of stuck with what we already had. But you know, when I got over it a bit, I was able to shell out a bit more money to get those 2. And you can kind of keep doing that with every set that comes out. If you want trips of something, you can pick them up and they're like nothing. So you get to have fun playing the decks you want on the cheap. All right, guys, reason number 3. There you go, 3. So the games are less stressful. When you're playing in a casual game, you don't have to really worry about the outcome of your game anymore. If you're playing casually, there's not really any high stakes. You might be playing in a locals tournament at best probably, or maybe you went to a regional. But if you know that you didn't come here to win the whole thing, or you just want to see how good your deck was going to be against what people play already, do it. You have nothing to lose, and you can feel it when you play. Of course, if you choose to play against a competitive deck, well, you know where that goes. So you gotta be willing to take those L's too. But overall, playing casually is just less stressful. I won't say it's more fun because, well, I'm sure many competitive players would like us to think that playing competitively is more fun. But playing casually is not only fun, but it's also less stressful. You can go anywhere and play a friendly game with someone who's also playing casually. You'll get interactions you've never seen before in games, and you get to enjoy that. There's also a lot more decks to play against in casual play because, the meta has a certain few decks at the top that kind of flux over time, but generally it's always going to be a certain few. In casual play, you might find someone playing a Stardust Dragon deck, or you might find someone playing Gokis. Bad Gokis, not good Gokis, because good Gokis are a totally different monster. But in casual play, you can find all kinds of things, and that really is what makes it fun and kind of zen for you. All right, guys, reason number 4. When you play casually, you get to really enjoy new experiences. What I mean by new is, when you walk up to a casual player, you have no idea what they're playing. And likewise, they have no idea what you're playing. And when your first cards come out and you see each other's decks and you're like, huh? How do I play this? Well, the good news is that's gonna happen a lot. Like I said in the last one, there's tons of different casual level decks to play at. They could be tier 2 or tier 1, hopefully nothing lower than that. But you'll never know what's gonna come at you. And these decks can and probably will interact in ways that you can't foresee. So, if you're playing casually, you're probably not really worrying about your side deck, and that's good because it's probably useless to you anyway in this situation, because you won't really know what's going on. Your decks are going to do things that make you play out of your comfort zone. Like, if you're both playing a deck that likes to get really big, you want to swing at each other, you might find that you can't win that way. You might have to try something else, like a sub-strategy that you never did before. You might find someone suddenly trying to get you to mill out when none of the meta decks are doing that right now. These are things that happen. Like, there's a long time when random burn decks just showed up everywhere. You never knew who was gonna have one. They weren't meta, but they were pretty rogue, and they just show up and you have to deal with that. God, I hate a burn deck, but if you play them, it's still pretty casual level. They don't always tend to work out. So when you play your fun niche deck against someone else's fun niche deck, you get to have a really good time. Unless you get totally mollywopped, and well, them's the breaks. All right, guys, here it is. This is reason number 5 to play casually. It's because you can still win. At the local level, at the card shop, even a bit at regionals, maybe not too much higher than that, but playing casually does not mean not winning. It simply means you're not going to reach for the stars, because no one ever told you to. No one ever has to try to go to nat to every deck they build. You can just build a deck just to see if you can, cheap out your friends a bit, maybe win a locals tournament, because it's totally doable, because at locals, people tend to mostly play casual decks. And if they don't, well, you still might rogue out wins against meta decks. That happens all the time. When you play casually, you get the fun of playing whatever deck you want, for the price you want, and you still can win if you do it right. If you have any other reasons that you play casually personally, leave them in the comments. If you think that I should switch to be a competitive player and I'm a scrub loser for playing casually, let me know. I can take it. I'm a big boy. And with that, see you in the next one. Pass turn.